Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk und ich habe heute wieder ein Startinterview. Also ich kenne die Company relativ wenig, deswegen bin ich schon gespannt, was uns der Alf Pohr, er CEO bei Ideanomics, erzählen wird. Und ja, starten wir gleich mal los. Alf, thank you to have time. You're based in New York. Is it
Correct,
so?
yes.
Yeah,
New
so
York.
that picture is familiar with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my first question before we come to your business, and we here in Europe we hear a lot of numbers about the coronavirus. How was really the situation in your town and how it looks like now? What is the situation now?
Yeah, so thankfully things are getting much better. In the New York area, obviously it was one of the worst hit spots globally. So we've had to, shut down our offices in mid-March. We're all working from home still. I don't know exactly when we'll get back because the big problem with a virus like this is New York relies heavily on mass transit, subways and trains for everybody to get to work. So we don't want to be the first people back. We don't want to be the guinea pigs to see if there's any return of the virus. So we're gonna stay where we are for now. But thankfully things are starting to open again.
Yeah.
So haven't been able to get a haircut recently, but otherwise it's getting back to normal.
That was also my biggest problem. You see, we are a little bit advanced. My hairs are now really short. But hit this virus your business in general? So especially in New York, or was everything working fine? Then you can do everything out of home too.
Yeah, so the area that it hit us is where we're generating our revenues currently, which is in Asia. Our first quarter in China in particular was very heavily impacted, obviously, because of COVID-19. And what was Q1 in China is going to be Q1 in Europe and the US and the rest of the world. So we've kind of come through that. China's been slowly reopening more and more recently. So, we're fully back to business in China. In terms of the US team, we have several subsidiaries in the US. We also have a team in Malaysia and in the Ukraine. We're a modern company, modern infrastructure, everything's online, everything's in the cloud. So we've been able to go about our business for the most part. The only area we've really been affected is we finance CV vehicles in China primarily at this time, and also in Malaysia, and that's a physical delivery business. Mm-hmm. So everything was shut down. We obviously couldn't make any revenue because we couldn't complete deliveries.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw also in general the sales of cars going down 99% in some areas.
Yeah, also in EV was hit particularly hard in China. It has a couple of issues. One, COVID-19, and second, it's very difficult to get the lease financing arranged for commercial EV vehicles because of the cost of the battery is so big and the batteries are portable. So that's something we've been looking to address by bringing our own funds online as well. But yeah, typically the car industry was hit pretty hard. Manufacturing was shut down, but things are pretty much back to normal now.
Okay, we are already in your business. But what is really the description of your business? You changed the business model in the last year. When you look at now, compare your quarterly results from the quarterly results 1 year ago. It looks totally different. What was the reason to change the business? And second is, what is now your focus?
Yeah, so we were interested in some industries that were in transition. The previous industry that previous market we're in, wasn't a growth industry for us. We were making some revenues, but it really wasn't the vehicle that we were looking for the company to drive, revenue not only in 2020, but 2025, 2030, etc. And we looked at some industries that are in transition, and electric vehicles in particular is interesting for us. But it's not just interesting from the automotive perspective. The big reason we're interested in EV is there's going to be a change in energy demand. People are going to stop filling up their cars with gasoline and diesel and petrol, and they're going to move it over to electrical charging. We'd like to play a part in that electrical charging and generate ourselves some long-term recurring income from electric vehicle charging.
Mm-hmm. And how, in general, how I must understand the business? You say you want to switch, so that mean that you have a fleet, what you give to other company, for example, a taxi driver business or something, and they come to you and they must charge on your stations and you make money out of it? How does it work?
So let me help you understand how this works. We have a business model that we call S to F to C. The S stands for sales. Okay, we have preferred relationships with the big EV manufacturers. So we help large fleet customers purchase the wide variety of vehicles that they need at a price that they can't get if they go direct. Okay, so we earn volume spreads from the manufacturers for bringing them that business. And we place the financing with our preferred financing partners. Okay, and we earn fees from arranging the lease financing for them as well. So call that an origination fee, a finder's fee, a typical large finance transaction fee. We do both of those to acquire large-scale fleet customers because we want to sell them. We want to sell them prepaid electricity units. We have a wholesale electricity marketplace that we've established in China. Okay, and we also want to sell them access to our charging partner networks, where we can get a percentage of that revenue as well. So up front, we earn money from the sales process, from the buying, from the manufacturers, and from the placement of the financing. But ultimately, we want to sell these fleets prepaid electricity, wholesale, that we earn revenues from, and also access to our preferred partners' charging networks.
So it means you get 3 revenue streams. One is from the sales.
Yes.
Second from the financing, and third is then from the charging.
Yes, and the charging, we believe, is the most meaningful one because, if you think about, which is the richer company, okay? Is it, General Motors? Is it General Motors Financing Division? Or is it ExxonMobil? Okay? Right. Okay. And that's really what we're focused on. So if you think about it, if we were fishing, the hook would be the sales, the bait would be the financing, and the fish we're trying to capture is the energy consumption. That's really what we're doing. And the more fleet customers we can service, the more customers we have to sell electricity products to and battery to. And that's where the real money is.
I saw one of the last press release what you have was one that you say have 130 units totally, around rough 2.5 million. A first order from, I cannot pronounce,
Qingdao.
What?
Qingdao.
Qingdao is an easy name, Qingdao. But
it actually has a really strong German connection. Many German buildings in that city. There's a very famous Chinese beer called Qingdao.
Okay.
And Qingdao beer was established around 130 years ago by Germans. They built the first brewery in China. And so in English we would call it Qingdao, but in Chinese they call it Qingdao. So it's a coastal city on the east coast of China, and it's very, very famous for its German architecture and obviously its brewery.
Wow, well, I don't know this. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so we saw as we started to work in China, there's about 150 EV manufacturers. So if you're an EV fleet operator and you need vans, you need small trucks, you need big trucks and lorries, okay, you don't know where to go. Okay. You also don't know how to navigate the rebate system. There's a national rebate system. There's a local province or local city rebate system. It's very complicated. So what we decided to do was we decided to build an EV hub, an expo center. And so we started talking to major cities, and strategically, Qingdao was important to us, not only for the brewery, of course, but no, it's important to us because it's a coastal city. It's a port. Okay, and it's just across the sea from Korea and Japan, who are obviously very important in the automotive industry as well. So when we came to select it, we selected it there, and we managed to get a soft launch on the 1st of May of that center in Qingdao. A bigger launch about a week ago, as the social distancing measures are starting to be dropped in China, and we'll have a formal ribbon cutting with all of our partners in the next month or 6 weeks.
Interesting. So and now is really the idea, or what is your expectation? What we as an investor, potential investor, can expect from your division there?
Yeah, so that's just one part of what we do. Just so your investors can understand, we're interested in 4 key areas of commercial vehicles. Okay, They are buses and coaches, so city buses and tour buses, a lot of those in China. Heavy trucks, what we call logistic vehicles, which are small trucks and vans, the kind of things that do the local deliveries. And we're interested in taxis. Okay, and we're interested in these four because these four, China has regulated need to change away from gasoline and diesel, away from petrol products, and onto electric vehicles within the next few years. So when it's regulatory driven and it's a country like China, then they have to do it. Okay. So, and China, the way China operates, obviously, they can impose a regulatory deadline of 2022 for the buses, 2025 for some of the trucks, and those fleet operators have to change within that timeline, or they're going to get heavy penalties for not doing so. So we thought that was a really exciting area for us to be in, because it doesn't matter if there's an economic downturn in 2020 or 2021. This is regulation driven because they're trying to deal with pollution. So that gives us an opportunity to do business confidently within a timeline that we know we can produce revenues.
One other question: why is your relationship so big with China?
Well, two reasons. One, we've always, from the old business, we've always had a Chinese presence. We had offices in Beijing and Shanghai in the past. Now we have offices in Beijing, Guangzhou, Chengdu, and Qingdao. But also because China is, like I said, it's trying to solve a pollution problem. Okay, many of China's cities, you travel to Beijing, you travel to Chengdu, which is the home of the pandas, right? All you see is thick smog a lot of the year, particularly the winter months. So China needs to fix this problem, and that's why it's pushing very hard with the regulatory deadlines that are, as I said, 2022, 2025. So that makes it interesting to us. In America right now, some of the city buses are looking at doing some things, but really there's no formal guidance. In Europe, Europe's a little stronger, but most of their deadlines are, 2030, 2035, 2040. Well, you can't really build a business for today and the medium term when those deadlines are a decade long, right? Not unless you're already a big, well-established automotive company. So for a young company like us, we needed to find somewhere to focus that we could get business done now. And a regulation-driven country like China was just the place to do it.
But coming back to again what we can expect. What's really what we as an investor can expect from your company? New contracts for sure, but in which side we talk? We know exactly China is big, but how big?
Yeah, so this is going to be what's interesting for investors right now, because we're operating a new business. We're operating in China. We had some delays because of COVID-19. Our Q1 got pushed well into Q2, so we're a little behind there because of the pandemic. But investors should expect from us for us to start fulfilling these contracts. We began the deliveries in Q2. The 130 vehicle order we did recently was a relatively small order. Some of the deals that we have are very, very large. We signed an order a few months ago that we're starting to work with the manufacturers on, to a company called Beijing Silk Road Rainbow. It's one of the largest bus operators in the north of China. Their order is for 5,000 buses to begin delivering this year. Buses are big ticket items, so big revenue will follow with those. So we're going to go from a company that has marginal revenues in the first quarter to Q2, and then quarter over quarter growth as we go Q3 and Q4. The numbers are just going to get larger and larger for us.
Wow. 5,000 buses are for Europe is a big number. For China, maybe not, but for Europe, it's a big number. Yeah. So that means we can see now the increase of the revenue. Hopefully, the increase of the revenue. Then we don't know if the virus coming back or not. And maybe China working in. Or do you believe that we don't see any other or further lockdowns also in China? So that.
That's the big unknown for everybody. We don't know if there's going to be a second wave of COVID-19. Got some very interesting news from my colleagues in China today. It's just starting to make the news here. China's completed testing of 9 million people in Wuhan, and it believes it has no cases at this time. Obviously, that was the epicenter of it. We can expect, like any flu virus, like coronaviruses are, it'll transfer in the summer months to the southern hemisphere, which is why we're seeing problems in countries like Brazil now, and it'll come back next year. How bad, we don't know. That's the one piece that we can't factor into the equation. But set coronavirus aside, because obviously that I've never seen anything like that. I'm sure the same for you, where whole countries just shut down. But set that aside, and I believe we're in a very strong position to grow the company, not just the next few quarters, but for the next several years.
Do you have any competition? Is there any other company that do the same?
At this point, no. We don't, because we've gone out and we've created our own lease financing funds with a consortium of banks and the ultimate beneficiaries of this, which is the electrical utilities. They're providing us with the big cash to get these lease financing deals done for our customers. But China is a big country. It has a lot of capital. I think when people see us start to post our revenues, I think the competition will come. But competition's welcomed. I mean, it's, we don't want to be alone in this. It would be nice to have colleagues and peers to meet at industry events and talk to who are in the same business as us, because there are a number of challenges. Okay, yeah. This is a new industry.
Okay,
charging vehicles electrically is new, and gaining revenues from energy that's electricity rather than petroleum products is new as well.
Yeah. When I look at your share price, it's very interesting. We see it's going down to March, beginning of March. It was one straight downtrend. Maybe it's coming from this transformation that you transfer your business. And then when everything is going down in the middle of March, you jump nearly $1, 300% up. What was the reason? Do you have any idea for what's happened?
No, we don't. For a small cap company, we're very fortunate that we have a good volume in our stock. But we have no idea why we rose very quickly, as you said, to about $1.34, and then we retracted back again. I think we're tremendously undervalued, even at $1.34 from our perspective. So, I think we're one of those businesses where people are going to expect to see, with a business transformation, there'll always be a speculative buyer as well. But I think the majority of the market is waiting to see those results in Q2, Q3, Q4, so they can start to see the kind of growth that our order book suggests that we can do. And then I think we'll start to see significant growth in shareholder value.
Yeah, but to summarize only, you are not a producer, you are only a connector. You connect the sales with the financing and the contractor from the energy source.
Yes, correct.
Share price. How many shares are outstanding? Do you have how many shares?
Yeah, about 180 million shares outstanding.
Okay. And is there any bigger share groups or groups of people that own your stock?
We do have a few. The largest shareholder, and one of the reasons that we're being so successful in China, is our chairman, Bruno Wu. He's a US citizen, but he's originally from China. He and his wife are something of a celebrity couple in China. She's a very important person in the world of television in China. Mm-hmm. So he's able to get us access to open doors that typically, a US company couldn't do. China's typically business friendly, but we do rely on him and his team for a lot of the order flow that we secure.
Okay. And what is your his share position in the company? So from percentage, or how in general the management has a position in the company?
Yeah, so the management has an incentive plan of stock options. Mm-hmm. So they own about 15% of the share base.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I think it was a very interesting start interview. It would be for me a pleasure when we have the second results or third results that we really see the transformation, how it really comes to the numbers and see what really the number looks like. One last question come to my mind. What do you think on profit margin you have? I think it's really hard to explain. Then do you count this from the sales or?
Yeah, so we look at a blended rate across the spread from the vehicle purchasing and from the lease financing. We'll believe our net margins will be somewhere in the 8 to 10% range.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Alf, thank you for this first introduction to your company. It was very interesting for me. And next time, then we hope we can go a little bit deeper and look a little bit more into the numbers and hopefully new contracts or more deliveries and so on. That was really great. Das war jetzt ein Intro bei Ideanomics. Sehr interessant, wenn man sich allein den Chartverlauf anschaut. Dort, wo alle gefallen ist, sind sie gestiegen, zwar um 300-400% und jetzt wieder zurückgekommen. Die Firma hat jetzt eine Transformation gemacht, und zwar eine Transformation raus von Mediaseite mehr in die Finanzierung. Ich muss eigentlich sagen, Finanzierung von elektrischen, also Electric Cars, also E-Cars. Und zwar sehr smarter Move. In China ist sehr restriktiv, was neue Regeln betrifft, nämlich vor allem den Smoke. Sie wollen natürlich den Smoke reduzieren. Und wie kann man das schaffen, indem man eigentlich im Verkehr ändert? Und sie wollen halt vor allem die ganzen kommerziellen Fahrzeuge wechseln. Ob das angefangen ist vom Taxi, über Trucks, über dann die kleinen, Sie wissen ja, die kleinen Zulieferer, die mit dementsprechend Autos fahren, dass man die alle umstellt auf elektronische Cars. Das ist relativ schwierig. You say 140 or 150 EV producers are in China, is this right?
Correct, yes. Yeah, very large market. 90% of the world's EV manufacturers right now. Wow.
Also es gibt 140, 150 Produzenten dort. Es ist sehr unübersichtlich, es gibt sehr viele Rabatte und Incentive-Programme. Keiner kann sich quasi durch, und deswegen haben sie sozusagen eine Anlaufstelle gemacht, wo sie sich darum kümmern, was braucht der Mann, also vom Sales über die Finanzierung bis hin dann zum Einspeistarif, also dass sie halt bevorzugt verschiedene also Stromtankensäulen haben, wo sie dann dort quasi überall ein paar Prozent mitschneiden. Das ist ja ein Businessmodell. Jetzt kann man sagen, warum machen sie das in China? Weil sie eine sehr starke China-Connection haben über ihren Chairman. Hat er auch zum Schluss gesagt, er macht ja noch die Intros rein. Und das Businessmodell klingt extrem spannend. Wenn man sich die Bilanz anschaut, schaut es ein Desaster aus. Wenn man sich anschaut, das erste Quartal, da sind nämlich keine Umsätze da gegenüber dem Vergleich von ersten Quartal 2019. Aber das wird sich im zweiten, dritten Quartal deutlich ändern. Sie haben erst vor kurzem einen kleineren Auftrag, wie er gesagt hat, 130 EVs. Do you already deliver these 130 vehicles or is it only in process?
Yes.
Ja, okay. Sie haben jetzt im zweiten Quartal durch den Lockdown von Corona haben sie nichts ausliefern können. Die haben sie jetzt quasi ausgeliefert, die ersten 130 Fahrzeuge, und jetzt kommt quasi das Business ran. Was aber wirklich spannend ist, sie haben einen Deal auch gemacht mit über 5000 Busse. Also ein Bus kostet ja gleich einmal eine Lawine. Do you have any idea what the bus, you say you make a contract about 5,000 buses. What is the normal price of one bus?
Buses vary. They come as small buses and large buses.
That's right.
Typically around $200,000 would be an average bus price.
Okay, wow. Also durchschnittlich kosten einer $200,000. Dann sieht man sich, was das 5.000 Busse quasi sein soll. Und China ist da wirklich sehr, sehr extrem. Das heißt, bis 2022 müssen die einen umstellen, bis 2025 die anderen, weil einfach der Smoke so heavy ist, die müssen den Smoke unter Kontrolle kriegen. Und das kriegen sie nur dann, indem sie diese kommerziellen Fahrzeuge austauschen gegen EVs. Und da sind sie oder wollen sie eine führende Stellung machen. Er kennt selber noch keinen Konkurrenten, der das hat. Ich habe auch jetzt die Aktienanzahl vergessen. Es sind, glaube ich, 180 oder how many shares are outstanding? 180?
About 180 million.
Okay, 180 Millionen Aktien sind ungefähr draußen. Und wenn man das durchrechnet mit dem, was Aktienkurs ist, haben wir eine Marktkapitalisierung von 55 Millionen. Das ist nicht wirklich viel. Also wirklich ein interessantes Businessmodell und bin gespannt, wie das ist. Ja, das war's von Ideanomics. Heute im Juni 2020 und schauen wir mal, was da die nächsten Quartalsergebnisse bringen. Al, thank you for your time. All good lucks with the new business. What you're doing, and it sounds really interesting for me. Very unique, but makes absolutely sense. So good luck, and next time we can go a little bit deeper. Hopefully we have also numbers, better numbers, and maybe or hopefully also the share price is much higher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.